Hello, Falcon fans, and welcome to our special for Concordia football as they prepare for the first round of the Division III NCAA playoffs this Saturday from Thomas Feeney Stadium with a 12 noon kickoff against CUW. My name is Matt Mesel, our first guest being junior linebacker Ben Birch, the pride of Grafton, Wisconsin, the leader right now when you look at tackles from a defensive standpoint. Let's begin by just looking at your 2025 season and what's been working for you this year.
I've just been, running the schemes the defensive coaches have been giving us. We have a new defensive coordinator, Coach Merritt. He's been doing a great job. So I've just been using the techniques that they teach us and running the schemes because I trust what he's doing, what he's planning up for us, and I know he trusts us and me to run the schemes and get the job done.
With the new defensive coordinator, how's that transition been?
It's good. Obviously it can be hard with a new coach, but he's been great. I know he's trying to connect with us as a coach and just on a personal level as well. And I think it's been a really good job.
You look at the last couple of games, 35-0 shutout of Rockford, the bye week, 35-0 shutout of Eureka to wrap up the regular season. How confident is this defense right now?
We're great. We know how good we are. We know we have dogs all over the field. So I think that we have good momentum going into the playoffs. We've been doing really well all season. So this just is another big swing into the next week.
It's got to be, I guess, a pat on the back for the defense. You get one shutout, that's a big deal. But you get back-to-back, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, no, it's hard no matter who you're playing. Hard. It's always going to be hard. So, the guys have been playing real well. So, keep rolling.
How do you feel like the defense has improved from week one versus now to the regular season?
We're just kind of finding our fits, Again, it's hard with a new coach, but we got an experience with him. He's got an experience with us. He knows what we're good at, and we've just been playing really well as a whole.
You look at your individual totals and 85 tackles to lead the way on top of 7.5 tackles for a loss, half a sack as well. We talked about what you've done this season. Are you pleased with what you've done so far?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't really expect to do as well as I am this year, but again, I've just been using the techniques I've been taught, and I've just been trying to do my thing,
As you mentioned, trying to do your thing. When you look at your 3 seasons now with the Falcons, working your way up after no games played in 2023 to 9 games played last year, a full season here this year. Overall, how do you feel like you've improved as a player in that time?
You can see it with the stats. I've improved a lot. I've just been kind of buying into the program, trying to do what I can to be the best player that they want me to be.
We talk about the back-to-back shutouts. Overall, with that victory against Rockford to begin the month of November, locked up the NAC regular season championship. How special was that moment knowing that you guys had done what wasn't predicted here this season?
Yeah, no, it was great. We were predicted to be fourth in conference, I think, preseason. So, we, as a team, we have a group chat. We put that as the background, so we notice it every single time we open it. We knew what the goal was, but we kind of just took it one game at a time, and we got to the goal, so it was great.
When you look at your background, you are the youngest of 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be pretty unique.
Yes.
You got to be built a little bit tougher
Yes.
growing up in a family where you're the youngest.
Yeah, I got 4 older brothers. They all played sports, so I love my family. I love a big family.
And down the street from Grafton, what made Concordia the perfect fit for you?
I just loved it here. It was close to home, so I could see my family. I lived on campus the first 2 years, so I wasn't home all the time. Just the people, the coaches, and then their opportunity to let me play 2 sports, which is something I was looking forward to.
Yeah, because you played 3 sports back in high school, and so that was the big selling point, the 2-sport.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it here.
How special is it you look at this week? Obviously, no longer with the Grafton High School football program, but they're competing for a state championship the same week as the Falcons are playing for an NCAA playoff first-round win.
It's cool. They've been doing really well since I've been gone, so it's cool to see them doing good.
How special is it, though? Obviously, the goal is to win a conference championship, to get to the playoffs, but to accomplish that feat, and obviously still have another year and then some, but how special is it to have accomplished that feat and find yourself in the NCAA playoffs this week?
It's great. It's really, I don't really know how to explain that feeling. We have a home game, a home playoff game, which is amazing. We always have a motto to win our home games. That's always been a goal from fall camp, and we've been doing that so far this season. We're going to try to keep it rolling.
How do you go about preparing for a team that you, at least going into the week, know very little about because there's no history between the Falcons and Co. So how do you go about preparing to maybe, gain some knowledge of what to expect on Saturday?
Just to look at the film, see what their tendencies are, but I think we're gonna prepare like any other game. No matter who they're gonna put in front of us, we're gonna play the best we can, no matter what.
And you mentioned it, the fact it's going to be at Thomasini Stadium. Is that very special for this team? To be the first, obviously, when you look at the history of Falcon football, they did host a NCAA playoff game in the past. It was back in 2006. Stadium wasn't, though, up to code to host here, so the game was hosted at Wisconsin Lutheran College. So to be the first team to host a game on the Mequon campus, was that pretty special when you guys saw your name up and as a host?
Yeah, for sure. It's great. I mean, again, we have the goal of winning all playoff games. We love playing here, especially with our 2 overnight games earlier this year, so those were back-to-back, and it's great to play home.
To wrap it all up for you, what do you see as being a key? If you guys are to pick up the victory on Saturday, what needs to happen? What do the Falcons have to do to take care of business?
I think we need to play a whole game. I know there's a lot of games this season where we haven't played a whole game. We played like good quarters, good plays, but we need to pull it all together and play a complete game. I think we'll be great.
Ben, thanks for the time. All the best.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We continue with senior wide receiver Jason Letter leading the receiving corps here this season with well over 900 receiving yards. That again through the 10-game regular season. And let's start by looking at your 2025 season. What worked for you this year?
I studied more. Like this off season, I went through an injury. Everybody knows about. I tore my labrum last season. So instead of like being a pouty guy, sad guy, I studied more like mental reps. Like I did more studying off the field. I studied my teammates during spring ball. I was more like the positive guy, and like I did everything I can to get me better to get ready for the season coming up.
How tough was that whole injury rehab process?
Yeah, it was tough. Like, cause I always been like a kid that always wanted to play. So like, had to sit out. It like it hit me, but like I just stayed diligent, stayed disciplined, and then knew my time was gonna come.
Besides the current 925 receiving yards, you have 16 receiving touchdowns, a receiving touchdown at least one in every game but 2. How's that relationship developed over the year with Roman Funk as your QB?
Yeah, Roman Funk, that's my dog. So he came early during the summer this year. Like he didn't have to. Usually everybody goes back home, but I asked him like, hey, I'm back. Like, can you come back? We could get our timing together right. And then he did. And that really meant a lot to me. That grew the relationship with me and him. We've always been strong together, and that was our time to really show what me and him could do, and that's what this year came to show us.
You personally have had some big performances this season. The team as a whole has had some big performances throughout the course of this fall, but is there 1 or 2 games that stand out among the rest to you so far?
Yeah, there's 2 games I really liked the most was obviously CUC. I did really good that game. Me and Funk connected really well that game. And I really played that game for my receiver, Jack, because he got hurt during the week. And that's like my brother. So it's like I played this game like for him. Like that was mentally for him. And then Aurora, that was a good game right there. Like I've been like I lost every year to them. And this year I feel like I was able to play my role and to help us get that win.
Yeah, the Falcons hadn't beaten Aurora since 2018. Take us through that week getting ready for Aurora, and certainly on paper, no one's giving Concordia a chance. This is a team that came into the season predicted 4th. How are you guys able to? First of all, it's one thing to beat Aurora, but to do it at their place, that's another big time accomplishment. How are you guys able to accomplish that feat?
Like during practice, we went hard. Like everything, like we called each other out on everything. Like it wasn't this guy's just like getting mad at me for no reason. It was like, okay, he's holding me to a standard. Mm-hmm. So that week it was 100%. Like came to practice, weightlifting, class. Like class is important too. And then cardio when we're doing conditioning at the end of practice. Like try to be the first guy, don't be the last guy. And all that planned out for Saturday.
Overall for the offense, this can be an explosive offense, putting up over 32 points per game on top of 418 offensive yards per game. What makes this offense, so tough to defend?
Our coaches, we did a lot of changing in the offseason, and I felt like I was scared at first, and it turned out to be for the better. They're doing a lot of more studying. They're putting new plays in, doing the best that they can to help us achieve the win on Saturday, and putting the ball in the right guys' hands, and helping our quarterback understand what to do. And I really see it from a player point of view. Our coaches are doing really well.
This past Saturday to wrap up the regular season, you hosted Eureka. It was a senior day among the 15 seniors honored during a pregame ceremony. What did that mean to you? How emotional was the whole senior day celebration?
It was a lot. I had family come in town. My parents, my dad came. My dad hasn't seen me play since senior night of high school. So that was really important. I'm from Florida, and then seeing all my guys together, like, cause a lot of people leave every year. Like, it just gets smaller and smaller. That group gets smaller and smaller. So for the 15 people that stay strong and stay together and like believe in the program, that means a lot. We say pride every day, and like that show pride right there.
When you look at your senior year, you look at this team. We mentioned predicted fourth, ended up finishing number one for the first time since 2013. When did you start to realize, boy, we have something special here? Obviously, you like to say from day one, but realistically, when did it start to click that, hey, we really have an opportunity to do something big here?
I say after the first three conference games, like we were able to pull through, even though they were tough games. Like they were really close games in overtime, and like for us to overcome that every time was like, okay, now we know what we could do. Now we got to fix the mistakes, so we don't have to run through that again. For us to pull through those, that meant a lot. That let me know like, hey, we have something strong here. We just got to stay diligent, stay disciplined, and keep going.
You bring up overtime, an emotional double overtime home opening win against Benedictine. Of course, the Cheese Bowl. A little bit after that went to overtime, knocking off the Muskies.
Yeah.
But 9 victories, 1 defeat, 8-0 in conference play. How special was it then? Selection Sunday to see the Falcons' name up on the board and not only being in the NCAA playoffs, but also getting the opportunity now to host a playoff game.
Yeah, that was really nice. Like ever since we always had a chance to get like my freshman year, we lost it. Sophomore year, we lost it. Junior year, we wasn't qualified for it. But then for my senior year, it really meant a lot that we finally got to get first place in the conference, and it touched me real strong because football's always been my passion, and it's actually winning, especially here at Concordia. Concordia shows me a lot of love, so I see it all return, and it actually shows something.
Well, you mentioned it seems like year in, year out, regardless of who's been on the field, this Falcon team finds a way, at least to be competitive, and you've certainly been a big time factor in the offense, especially these last couple of years. But overall, since you stepped foot on campus, how do you feel like you've improved as a football player from day one to now?
I say I grew a lot. The coaches taught me a lot, and I didn't just grow on this field wise too. I grew more spiritually. I grew a lot with the classroom. Teachers, always that teacher gives you a pat on the back. That means a lot to you. You're making people proud. So that makes you want to just go harder and learn more, and just helps me stay hungry and just keep going. I might be doing something good now, but what can I do to be better and help my people around me be better?
To wrap it up, CUW, the opponent coming up on Saturday. You guys prepare now for the first round of the NCAA playoffs. I guess generically, in your opinion, for the Falcons to have success, continue to find success, what needs to happen on Saturday?
Oh, we just got to play together as one. Don't leave no mistakes out there. Play 100%. Everybody do their job and play the best they ever have. No more my bads or nothing. This is important. So we have to do what we can as a team, work together as one to be able to do what we do.
Well, Jason, thanks for the time. All the best on Saturday.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Now being joined by the head coach of the Falcon football team back for season number 18, Greg Eder. 9 victories, 1 defeat this regular season. How would you go about summarizing the regular season?
Incredible. Wasn't expected. We always set the goal high. Conference championship is discussed every year during fall camp. That's what the standard is. That's what we try to get accomplished. But this year, it just there's so many unknowns going into the season, and to watch this team grow from the first day of fall camp until just being crowned champions here, a couple days ago has been an incredible journey.
You and I talked after the game against Eureka on Saturday about you pinpointing that trip to Pennsylvania as maybe being a big, chemistry builder.
Yeah.
Let's start by, how did that trip even become a part of the schedule?
Well, I hope I don't screw up the years here, but last year we had a team cancel on us, and which forced us into playing only 9 games. I don't know how other sports do it, but in football, you typically, as you set up game contracts, it's usually a home and away type of deal. And so they not only canceled last year, but they canceled this year. And we, as a program, for the next 4 years, are scheduled out for non-conference. So we had a choice between either only playing another season of 9 games this year or open it up to teams around the country that might be looking for one game. And that's who we found. And so I thought it was important that our players um, got to play 10 games. You know, I think they work hard and they deserve it. And it sounded like a fun trip. We took them out to the Hall of Fame, and it ended up being a great bonding experience. Not a real fun bus ride, but it was a good bonding experience. But anyway, long story short, that's how we ended up going out there. They were willing to play us, and they were willing to do it on a Friday night, you know, which allowed us to travel back and then give our guys, they could sleep on the bus and take Saturday off. So I think it all worked out well.
Well, the beauty is, I guess you can look at it now and say the beauty of it is the first 2 games were overnight trips. So the guys had to find ways to get along because they were stuck with each other back-to-back weekends.
Right, like it or not.
Yes.
Yeah, like it or not. Yeah, we put a lot of miles on early. At about the middle of the season when we had back-to-back road games in conference, that's when it really hit me. It's like, we're getting on the bus again, you know, but these last few weeks at home and now being blessed with a home playoff game, it's all worth it.
You look at wins and losses. When did you start to realize, hey, we may have something here? Obviously, you hope day one, but as the season's progressed, when did it start to sink in that, hey, if we don't screw this up, we really have a special opportunity?
As they were winning close games and finding different ways to win, you know, and then observing our practices. We're not perfect in practice, but these guys, this football team loves to play football, you know, and so it doesn't matter if they're doing an indie drill or if they're competing against each other. It's contagious. They enjoy playing football, and so the practices go fast, and you know the wins kept stacking up, and they found different ways to win, a lot of close games, and so yeah, early on that's when I thought this group can be special.
Maybe you didn't realize it back then when you were living the moment, but you look back at last year. I can remember talking to you many times up in the office about this guy's injured, this guy's injured. Now we're on the the fifth string this and fourth string that, and you look back at that now, and how big of a factor did that play to this team's success? Having guys that last year had to step up and get thrown into the fire, and now they come back this year with that year of experience.
Oh, absolutely. You get better at football by playing football, right? And so anytime that guys get to step on the field, unfortunately due to an injury or anything that puts them on a field is only going to help them. And so, yes, that has led to some of this year's success, but, you know, knock on wood, we have been blessed with the injury bug. We've stayed away from the injury bug, and again, a lot of that has to go to the off-season training and the commitment, again, with these guys that just love to do it, you know, and it's all paid off. So
you look at the offense; it can be explosive, and they put up some great numbers throughout the course of the year, both on the ground and in the air. What makes this offense go?
Well, the offense. I mean, give credit to the offensive staff, starting with Coach White as the coordinator, but he does a great job of utilizing his personnel, knowing what they can and what they can't do. Obviously, the game planning by the whole staff is a lot of hard work and a lot of time spent on putting our guys in position, you know, to be successful. And so, I think starting with Coach White into the rest of our offensive staff, I think they do a tremendous job of that. He keeps the offense relatively simple, uses as much window dressing as we possibly can, and as you notice, he plays quite a few guys. A lot of guys get touches, and so yeah, I think that that's one main reason for the explosiveness. And the second part of that is the players, right? I mean, coaches can put them in the right spot, they can scheme things up, but we're very fortunate. We've got guys that, when the lights are on, the bright lights are on and the big stage, and we have different guys that step up at different times, and it doesn't seem too big for them. So it's a combination of all those things.
Look at the quarterback position, of course, Roman Funk, the starter, but a very capable backup too, and Justin Clark. But what have you seen from Funk this season?
Growth. He's voted team captain. He's physically tough. You talk about loving the game. He not only loves the game, but he loves to compete. And competing for him is not just physical, it's mental, right? I mean, he wants his reads down. He wants to know what the other 10 guys are doing, and he wants to master this offense. And he's not a guy that's into personal stats, right? I guarantee if you ask him, he'd throw all that away for championships, and he's just a winner. The former Bud Grant, right? Old Bud Grant, Minnesota Vikings, one of my heroes, so to speak. He used to make it real simple. He said, winners win. And he is definitely a winner. So.
Well, you mentioned it too. When you look at the breakdown of the offense, it's been a number of guys that have stepped up, a number of guys that have had, pick your game, pick your poison for the opposition as to who you try to stop. But when you look at the ground game, Ashar Thomas is one of the names that jumps off the page. Jacob Pugh, Jerome Hitton, Caleb Espinoza. From a ground standpoint, you have a number of different go-tos, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And excuse me, each of them brings a little something different to the table. We all have strengths and weaknesses, but no two of those are alike. And with their skill set, again, it goes back to Coach White and the coaching staff putting them in positions where they can be successful. And yeah, it's running back by committee, but it's fun to have a lot of different talents and skill set to choose from.
Then you have a guy like Jack Bradley on Saturday who runs for a couple of touchdowns, but then also catches a touchdown. So he's got that dual threat ability as well. But we just talked with Jason Leonard.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on how he has grown from day one versus now. One thing that strikes me when talking with him is he's the ultimate team guy. And obviously, when you look at stats, he has a lot that he can brag about. When you look at receiving yards, touchdowns, but he wants to win. And he's excited. Forget the numbers for a minute. He wants to be in the NCAA playoffs, and here he is.
Jason is definitely a success story. I mean, he has grown so much within this program. He's grown in the classroom. He's grown socially, and obviously he's growing on the football field. And ultimately, that's what we're supposed to do as a football program, right? Mm-hmm. But he is. You could take his picture and hang it on the wall because it's such a success story. Very talented, very gifted. Always puts the team ahead of himself. Yet he's very, very goal orientated. That's what makes him good, right? Because he sets the bar high. He wants to be the very, very best. But he won't sacrifice winning, for his own individual goals. And to see the growth in him in all of those phases is just a very, very proud moment. And both these guys that you just talked about, Roman and Jason, they're both voted team captains. And in our program, our football team controls that. They vote for the team captains. It's not a coach-driven system. And so what an honor to be voted as a leader by your peers. And both of those guys were selected as captains.
Let's go to the other side of the football for a
Yeah.
second. Defense, and
Yeah.
of course the big story coming into the year was a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Now the team's coming into the playoffs off back-to-back 35-0 shutout wins. What have you seen from the defense from getting used to the new system to what it's become now?
I've seen a lot of, again, I think growth is the right word. I mean, as we went through the interview process, Coach Merritt, he really, the cream rises to the top, right? And you could see the qualities in him as a person, that his personality is going to fit in here, that he's going to treat kids right. And then his football knowledge and his passion for football made him the without a doubt the number one candidate. We offered the job. We were fortunate that he said yes. He got here. He got working on things right away. And philosophically, he and I have been aligned real close. So there wasn't major changes that had to be made. He learned a bunch of our terminology. He brought some of his stuff here. And so from a scheme standpoint, you can have the best scheme in the world, but if your players don't believe in you, it doesn't matter, right? And so he had to come in and earn the respect, earn the trust of the rest of the defensive staff, and he had to do the same thing with the players. And I think the results speak for themselves. I mean, he's running the defense, and he and his defensive staff are doing a great job. And the transition has been, to be honest with you, much more smooth than what I had anticipated as we started this process of hiring a defensive coordinator.
When we look at numbers, we just talked with Ben Birch, the linebacker, and he leads the way when it comes to tackles. Here's a guy that, from day one to year two, okay, used sparingly.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now he takes on a much bigger role, and he grabbed the bull by the horns, and look at him leading the defense, and at least in tackles and some of the other numbers. What have you seen from Ben Birch this season?
I see hard work, belief. I see those things paying off because Ben, a bunch of accolades coming out of high school. He came here. We had a pretty solid linebackers in front of him, and so, like you said, he had to play sparingly. And in today's world, a lot of guys will leave, right? They want to be the guy, and if they're not the guy, then this, that, the other thing. And but Ben waited his turn, and when he got the chance, he absolutely grabbed it and ran with it. And Ben's not the biggest guy. He's not. I mean, you look at his height, you look at his size. He's undersized, even at this level, to play inside linebacker. And so he has that going against him. And it just, again, goes back to belief in himself, the effort. He's an extremely intelligent player. He's extremely tough. And he's turned out to be one of our best players. And it's 100% a credit to him and belief in himself. If you want to put anybody in front of younger players and show them that, it's not always the biggest guy, it's not always the strongest guy, and let Ben talk to them and tell them his story, it's just incredible. There's a spot for everybody if you believe in yourself and you work hard and you stick to it.
Well, with all that said, everything now is paid off. When the team finds itself in the NCAA player for fifth time in program history, first time since 2013. As you mentioned, get the opportunity to host. First time it's been on this campus. Second time they've hosted, but first time on the Mequon campus. Other time had moved the game to Wisconsin Lutheran College. But when you look at okay, the history of this program, we look at your history of NCAA playoffs, you were part of that 2013 team. What can you tell this version, this team? How do you go about preparing for what the atmosphere may be like come Saturday?
Well, I don't want to hype it up too much. I mean, I want it to be another home football game. Playing here at Tomasini Stadium since COVID, and our athletic communication director, Jeremy Crawford, continues to remind me of our home field advantage, and I believe, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's 24-4. And so, there's something about playing at home. And our opponent, this will be their third year in a row in the playoffs. So, get a little bit used to it, you know what to expect. But with our guys, we're going to treat it as a home football game, and we're going to approach it that way. We're not changing anything with practice. We're not changing our routine for a home football game. And so they're naturally going to be hyped up. They're naturally excited, as this is an exciting event for the campus, for the community, and especially for our program. But we have to be level-headed and do what they've been doing all season. And so that's what we're trying to do as a coaching staff this week.
You mentioned Cole, 8 victories, couple defeats, 7-1 in the American Rivers Conference, and at-large recipient of the playoffs, and this is the first meeting between Cole and Concordia, Wisconsin. So with that being said, how do you go about preparing for what to expect from Cole? What do you guys do as a coaching staff to get your team ready for what Cole runs and how they go about playing?
Well, yesterday was the NCAA selection show, and the minute that show's over, the coaches are in touch and film is exchanged. All right, this isn't a thing where coaches wait till the day or wait, within 30 minutes after the selection show, the schools agree on which games to exchange, and they have our film and we have theirs. And so the minute that happens, then your staff just goes to work with breaking down the film and starting to put the game plan together. And like you said, we have not faced Cole. We have heard a lot about him. Very successful program. But now you're watching it. You're looking for their personality. You're looking for tendencies. You're trying to figure out how they're going to attack us, and they're doing the same thing against us. But that happens right away. So
to wrap it up, without talking about Cole per se,
yeah.
When you look at the Falcons and your mindset going into this first round playoff matchup, what do you see as being keys, or what needs to happen to find success on Saturday?
Well, like I said, number one, we have to be level-headed. I'm not saying play without emotion, all right, but we have to keep our emotions in check. We have to play smarter football. We got to get rid of penalties. We got to get rid of our fundamental mistakes, our scheme breakdowns, and we have to play harder than our opponent. But one of our goals every single week is to improve, right? And in all 3 phases, that's one of the goals. And I would say that's the most important thing for us going into this home playoff game is we have to get the improved goal in all 3 phases of our football team.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time. All the best coming up on Saturday.
Thank you.
That's the man, Greg Etter, the football coach for the Falcons. And again, the Falcons and Co. kick off 12 noon Saturday from Tomasini Stadium. Stay tuned to CUWFalcons.com for more Falcon football coverage.